Good afternoon and welcome to Northport, the view from here. My name is Gene Matthews and I'll be your host today. Today we have a very special lady as our guest. You've seen her before on the program. Her name is Cindy Mick and she is the current director of our utilities department. But the unique thing about Cindy is that very shortly she's not going to be with us anymore. She's going to be in the Ivory Coast of Africa as a Peace Corps volunteer. So with that, I'd like to say hello to Cindy and welcome to the program. Now tell us all about this. I mean, this has got to be one of the most exciting things in your life, and I guess after having a referendum you needed something to, a bigger challenge, and I guess this is it.
Well, the referendum was exciting, and I was really happy that the citizens supported the future of Northport and having centralized water and sewer throughout Northport. But this is something that I've always wanted to do. Certainly love the field of public health, and I'd like to expand that into an international arena. And Peace Corps is going to give me the opportunity to do that. Back in college, I was interested in the Peace Corps. I got sidetracked with a career in other avenues, and now I'm finally feel that I'm independent and financially secure enough to be able to finally get into the international public field.
Realize your dream, if you will.
That's right.
That's from a long time ago.
Yes.
You know, the Peace Corps, you don't hear much about the Peace Corps today, and I guess that's a shame in a way because it's still out there functioning and doing a terrific job. I'd just like to read a couple of facts about the Peace Corps that maybe some people have forgotten. Peace Corps was officially established in March 1st of 1961. Its total number of volunteers and trainees to date is 155,000. The country served is 134. Currently, we've got 7,000 people out in the field, 61% are female, 39% male, 93% are single, 7% married. The average age is 28 years old, the median being 25, and the oldest volunteer in the field is 79 years old, so I guess there's hope for me yet. So with that, how long are you going to be gone, and just exactly where is the Gold Coast, or the Ivory Coast, rather?
I'll be gone for 2 years and 3 months, and perhaps I'll stay an extra month and do some traveling, which I really do hope I'll be able to do at the end of the tour. I'll have a 3-month training period in the Ivory Coast, and that will be with a group of volunteers where we learn all about the culture, we learn how to take care of ourselves, the public health risks, exactly what we need to do to help the people the most. We'll be looking at the technical abilities of ourselves and the technical needs of the community that we'll be serving, and we'll also learn extensive language. It is a French country, so we do have to speak French. That is the official language of the country.
Parlez-vous français?
Oui. I've been studying every single day for a year now in preparation for this. And we will learn a tribal language also to show respect for the country, that we do care about them and we are interested in their ways.
What is going to be your job description over there?
Actually, it's amazing that they've been able to take my experience, especially here in the city, and being able to find a position for me that's almost exactly what I'll be doing, what I've been doing in Northport. I'll be working for a mayor of a city about the same size of Northport, about 20,000 citizens, and I will be helping to plan for water, for sewer, erosion control, helping with environmental issues, and also solid waste collection, which happens to be problems in the growing country of Ivory Coast because they've experienced, similar to Florida, a huge growth in population because it's a beautiful country and a lot of people want to live there.
Very interesting. What did you came to us from Sarasota County. What did you do in Sarasota County that would add to the experiences that they're requiring of you?
In Sarasota County, I was supervisor of pollution control enforcement and was in charge of investigating environmental problems and helping the county to resolve those issues. A lot of them having to do with septic tank problems, sewer problems, environmental problems, water quality problems.
Do you think you'll have an opportunity to run a referendum there?
I hope to. It probably might not be a referendum, but actually one of the things that I will be helping the country with is to try to help finance public work projects. And they certainly are going to have more challenges from a standpoint of financing than even we do, and that their financing, of course, also encompasses things like the World Bank or outside countries. So that kind of challenge I'm really anxious to try to tackle and trying to help the country with.
I guess the United
financing.
Nations would be tied in there?
Possibly. I know that there's a lot of intergovernmental coordination.
In these cities that they're forming, I think the number was 98 or 96 or something, municipalities that they're forming throughout the country. What do you think the existing, I know you haven't been there, but what do you think the existing facilities are that, or conditions that people are living under?
I understand that that you cannot trust the water to be potable anywhere. And I will definitely, through the training, learn to take care of water for myself, for my own drinking purposes, and also how to treat water that would be safe to drink. And in a way, by having to treat my own water, I can help others in the village or in the city that I work with to be able to treat and make sure that their water is safe for themselves also. So I don't expect to have potable water. I do expect to have running water some of the time. I've been told to expect electricity all the time, maybe some of the time. And other than having a beautiful country, it's not going to be a country where we have the luxuries that we have here. America's very lucky. We're very lucky here.
What you're saying is you're back to nature.
That's right. And I do love nature, and it'll be interesting. I think I will receive much more than I'm going to be able to provide for them just by experiencing a country where they have to be more creative and have to be able to do with less.
Yeah, I think if you have a good friend out there that's listening, I think they should send you the Girl Scouts handbook, because I think you'll probably need it. There's probably some skills in there that you'll need to take care of. So that's really neat. In developing a system, I mean, you're starting off really from ground zero from the way it sounds. So it's got to be exciting, because for one reason is that you know you're going to make a difference. You're starting out at such a basic and rudimentary level that you're going to make a difference. That's got to be pretty rewarding. What do you hope to receive from this personally? Certainly it's not a large salary. In fact, you might share with the listening audience what that salary is.
Well, the Peace Corps does take care of your health insurance for the time that you serve, and they also provide you a place to live, and they do give you just a very small amount. I think in the books that I read it was a matter of something like $24 a month for your personal needs, so that the amount of money coming in is very little. But I have been saving for a few years now in order to do this so that I would feel financially secure when I return home. And I'd like to finish my master's degree and possibly further my career in international public health. And so the Peace Corps is an opportunity for me to get into that.
Great. We're going to hold that thought, and we'll be back with you in a moment.
There's a rumor that small-town America has all but disappeared.
Life is great, Northport.
Northport is the last Mohican. This is the place. This is going to be the last undeveloped region. The city government itself is so pro-growth, and it's just like everything is in the right place at the right time for Northport. They're very open-minded, they're very honest, and they're very fair.
Disappeared? You've just seen evidence to the contrary. We call it Northport.
Welcome back to Northport, a view from here. And we're going to continue with our interview of Cindy Mick, the current Director of Public Services and Public Utilities Department. And we're going to be asking Cindy before she goes now, is what's going to happen with the utility department, specifically now that we have the results of the $10 million utility bond. what's going to happen there, who's going to be taking over the transfer of authority and power, if you will, within that department. So let's start off with the issue of the bond. Where do we stand with the bond attorneys and all that at this point? Because it's a complex process.
It certainly is, and a long process that we certainly are up to meeting that challenge within the city. The finance director, Anne Marie Riccardi, who's been on this show several times, is leading the challenge for the financing of the sewer and water expansion project. And we have already been meeting with the bond attorney, the financing team, the engineers to pursue this project. Who will be in charge of it within the utility department is Hamid Buzar, which is the city's engineer, and Rick Newkirk, who will be the interim utilities director, along with Anne Marie and our consultants. So we'll be looking to secure the financing. In the meantime, the permitting and plans and drawing of the plans are underway.
Will they be replacing you directly, or will they be promoting from within, or has that not been decided yet?
Currently, what they have done is that they have named Rick Newkirk as the interim director, and the city is so lucky to have such a fine person to rely on during this interim period, because he has been with the utility for when it was still general development utilities, and he's been with the city for the last 7 years and does take charge when I am absent. So things will continue to move on, and everybody has been preparing for this possibility for about a year now. So we're all prepared,
well, it's
and
good
there shouldn't be a change.
It's good to have that continuity. It seems like
Yes.
he's grown up with this system
He
and
certainly
knows it inside and out. Have they established an interest rate or anything on the bonds, or the availability of when people can buy them if they want it?
That actually is going to be established right at the very end, right at the time when the bonds are issued. But it seems like the market is stable, and we have a very good company, Public Financial Management, that has been the city's financial advisor for years, helped us with the first bond issue, helped us with the refinancing of the refinancing of the original bond issue, and they're a very competent firm. And with Anne Marie's help, I'm sure that the city is going to do very well in their financing of this project.
Okay, now that the financing is kind of put to
Yes.
bed, if you will, what's the next sequence of events that's going to happen?
Construction
And
will
when?
begin. And I think that early in 2001, you'll start to see ground breaking for the expansion of the neighborhoods, and beginning with the sewer plant expansion will happen also early in 2001, with the sewer plant expansion taking much longer than the neighborhood projects, because that's going to be quite a large project.
And what kind of expansion are we looking for at the sewer plant?
The sewer system currently has a capacity of 2 million gallons a day, and we're going to be expanding that to 3 million gallons a day. Plus, we're going to provide an expansion that's going to enable us to expand our reuse system also. So that will encompass the entire development of Heron Creek as that expands, and we'll be able to provide that development with reuse so that they will not have to rely on groundwater or wells for their golf course community.
And does that do away with the deep well injection that we use now, or will that always be there?
Unfortunately, because we have such a strong rainy season in Florida, I doubt that we will ever be able to rely solely on reuse. We'd like to. It's the most environmentally sound mechanism of providing for reuse disposal. But I think the deep injection well is always going to be needed for the backup, and we're very lucky to have a very good deep injection well that's permitted for almost 5 million gallons of effluent a day. So there's not going to be a problem with sewage treatment during the rainy time, because we will have that backup. It's always good to have a backup.
That's very critical, because otherwise there's the opportunity of spills and further degradation of the environment if you can't retain all these waters.
Correct.
You had spoken about the neighborhoods. I know that there are 2 neighborhoods in specific that were dealt with within this bond issue. What are they, and what's going to happen there?
One neighborhood is called the Floribana area, which is off Biscayne. And the second neighborhood is a fast-growing neighborhood right across from Heron Creek off of Sumter, and that is Sumter Woods.
Mm-hmm.
Both of them are fast-growing neighborhoods, but it'll provide for a lot of empty lots that will now have water and sewer available for the builders to come in and build new homes with centralized water and sewer, and it'll also stop the proliferation of septic systems that we're seeing in those neighborhoods.
And you suggested before this was going to start when? The end of the year or the beginning of next year? And
I hope that the plans and the permitting will be completed by the end of this year, and I think we'll see construction early 2001, yes.
Okay. The bad news always is, what is this going to cost now for someone that, let's say, lives in the neighborhood, and along comes the city and the utility department and says, okay, we're going to put the lines, sewer lines in, the water lines. What does that mean to a resident in that neighborhood?
I think the good news is that because we're starting early, where we're capturing a lot of empty lots, that we're able to keep the cost reasonable, even though it is going to be quite an impact on those that do not have sewer or water, that have already have homes in that area. We've been able to keep the cost to $3,500 for both water and sewer. Most of the homes are on septic tanks, but they have they have centralized sewer, centralized water. So all they will have to pay is $1,750 for the expansion of sewer service to their area, plus the capacity fee. And the city has asked for the staff to develop our resolution and our financing so that can be paid over a 20-year period to lessen the impact on the citizens.
And that would show up on their tax bill? Or?
Correct.
Okay.
And there's also going to be a credit for those that have recently installed a septic tank. So if they've had a septic tank installed just in the past year, where it would be such an impact on those homeowners, they'd get actually a 25% credit. And I think that was very fair of the City Commission to consider that.
With the reasonable pricing of land out in that area, a lot of homes are built on 2 lots. Are they going to get charged double?
No, actually the Commission directed staff to design the financing so that when you have 2 lots, you would be charged for just one hookup fee, one assessment fee, and one capacity fee. But if they have any additional lots, those would have to be considered as an additional cost.
Okay. When do you see the next major expansion coming down the road for Northport Utilities? Probably while you're away, right?
I think that we're going to continue. We're not building a field of dreams. We're continuing with reasonable expansions of 1 million gallons a day expansions, and I think as soon as this one is finished, we'll be looking for the next expansion and possibly even a new sewer treatment facility in the northeast section of town. We already do have land designated for that for our future.
And this being the Toledo Blade Corridor?
Correct, in the Panacea.
And there's still capacity for them to work off the existing system?
That's correct. But once we get enough customers out in the Toledo Blade Corridor area, we will be looking to construct a new facility in the northeast section of town. And we do have the land all designed, and we have it picked out. So.
Okay. And the Floribana section, where was that?
That's off of Biscayne, and that'll be the first expansion area.
Okay. All right.
And we will be notifying all the homeowners by letter as soon as we're ready to adopt an ordinance, so that they will be fully informed. And we want to hear what they have to say, and we want them to be included in the discussions.
Okay. Thank you very much, and we'll be right back with the last portion.
Have you seen Northport lately? Take a minute and take a look.
We really do enjoy nature, and we found it all here, right in our own backyard. Love fishing and boating on the Mayaca. You never know what you might see out there. We toured the whole state of Florida and found that Northport had everything that we wanted.
There's a lot of natural beauty, and there's a lot of wildlife here. I love the open spaces, and I love the quiet.
If you're intrigued by what you just saw, pay us a visit, and you'll see a lot more.
Welcome back to the third segment of Northport, A View from Here. And we're going to continue on with Cindy Mick, who is going to be embarking very soon on an adventure that I think a lot of us probably would like to partake in and maybe share. When are you actually leaving, Cindy?
I leave May 8th for Philadelphia. We'll be receiving some training in Philadelphia from the Peace Corps, and of course getting all of my inoculations, something I'm not looking forward to. And I will be actually in Africa on the 10th.
After all the inoculations, you'll be there in one piece?
I hope so.
Yeah, inoculations are never fun. What's the climate like over there?
I understand that it's hot and rainy, and then it goes to hot. So
Kind of like Florida.
Yes, I think it's probably a lot like Florida in the summer. And I enjoy the heat, so I'm not particularly fond of air conditioning, so I think I'll be quite comfortable there.
Is it close to the equator?
About 5 degrees north of the equator, so it'll be warm and sunny.
Yeah, that's good. You know, one of the things when you travel to developing countries and or continents is a question of personal safety. What has the Peace Corps, said to you, or what is their bulletins? How do you view your personal safety when it comes to going there?
I think in looking for a choice of an international group to work with, one of the things that the Peace Corps takes pride on is the personal safety of their volunteers. And the country of the Ivory Coast has very little violent crime. So I feel very comfortable for my own public safety, and I certainly will take all the precautions that I'm taught, though.
Mm-hmm. Will there be other Americans, people like yourself, going over at the same time, perhaps working with you or not with you? What do you know about that?
They train in a group, and I believe there's a couple hundred Americans in the Peace Corps in Ivory Coast currently.
Mm-hmm.
So there'll be a group of us, and we will get together on occasion. In a particular city where I'll be working, there may be one other American with me to help plan for the public work projects that will be needed for that community.
Yeah, sounds interesting. And you're going to come back very fluent in French and some other tribal or native language?
That's correct. French will be a big issue, and that's one of the benefits that I will have, is to be able to have fluent French when I return. And I will also be learning a tribal language, which will be very exciting.
Yeah, it certainly should. What about general living conditions? Where you're going to live, health, food, and we spoke about water before. What do you know about that?
It is a French country, and I have been told that they have wonderful French bread, which of course I do enjoy. And as long as they have good coffee, good French bread, and good vegetables, I think that I'll be fine.
What about medical treatment or facilities?
Again, the Peace Corps does offer full medical care, and while right in my general area I might not have immediate access within an hour, I shouldn't be more than a day away from a good physician.
The other thing, when you think of Africa, you of course think of AIDS and the situation there, which is very tragic. I guess that they're going to give you a good education on malaria and AIDS and all those diseases that are endemic to the area.
All the volunteers are given malaria preventative medicine and given good advice as to how to take care of themselves. AIDS is a problem, malaria is a problem. They do have some real public health issues that need to be dealt with, and that's one of the reasons the volunteers are there to help make it safer.
Yeah, very good. The government, what kind of support do you expect from the existing government of the Ivory Coast?
It's my understanding that the government is very supportive of the Peace Corps volunteers and very pleased to have us there. So it's nice to be somewhere where your help will be appreciated, and that makes me feel very, very good, and I appreciate that. And
It's
I'm
a-
sure I'll be appreciating what they can offer me, too.
It's sad to say we're not always welcome everywhere in the world, but it's nice to be welcome there.
I think that there's two facets to the Peace Corps. One, of course, is to bring goodwill from the United States to foreign countries so that they will be able to identify with us in a different way than perhaps we portray ourselves in the movies. And also it helps educate us as we're returning volunteers to share our experiences with different cultures and really being able to understand those cultures by living there rather than just visiting.
I'll have to say that you have a very good job. You've got a very good life here in Northport and in the United States. How does it feel to just kind of chuck it all and pack your bags and go through 100 inoculations and get on a plane and there you are in the Never Never Land of the Ivory Coast? I mean, what's going through your mind?
I don't think I could do this without having such wonderful friends and support, and even all the citizens and the co-workers in Northport, because they have been so loving and supportive of my choice, and I know that they will still be here when I return. I know that I will carry their friendship with me, and that gives me the strength to be able to do this. So that's a good feeling, and I feel I'm very happy.
Okay. You know, 2 years is going to be over. 2 years and 3 months will be over pretty quickly. You've got a big agenda over there, and if you're starting out from scratch, time is going to fly. What are you going to do when you come home?
Go back to school and again trying to expand a career in public health and perhaps international arena. I might be back in this area. My parents live here. I have a lot of friends, and I will be visiting.
Mm-hmm. And
I do love this area.
would you go back possibly in Peace Corps again, or would there be greater goals and aspirations in the area of health care?
I do like to travel, and one of the benefits of the Peace Corps is that they do offer scholarships for returning volunteers, and a lot of times the master's program for the scholarship entails a tour to do your master's thesis in coordination with a tour of the Peace Corps.
Yeah, there's something called the World Health Organization. Is that something that would be of interest? Or I don't know that much about it, but it sounds like it would be something similar to being a messenger, if you will.
There's a lot of really good international agencies such as USAID and the World Bank and, of course, the embassy. So there's a lot of opportunities for international work that I probably will be looking into when I return.
Mm-hmm. And again, you're going to be developing sanitation, garbage collection,
right,
and how to treat it. Now, you've done some of that here in Northport. You got any examples of that?
I think that when we first started recycling in the city of Northport, we certainly did that on a shoestring budget, and I actually liked that the best. I liked it when we were able to enlist a lot of volunteers for our recycling project. We had the Shriners involved and some other great community resources like the Shriners and some of the other volunteer groups that helped us with our recycling project. And we did it on the pickup trucks and homemade trailers, and that was good. So
okay.
I think it'll be similar to that, and I enjoyed that experience.
Well, all I want to say is I've enjoyed knowing you for these many years. You've been here 13 years now, and good luck to you, and everyone watching wishes you the best.
Thank you.
Bye-bye now.